So hey there, DCC. Merry Christmas to you as we head into and down through the stretch through the final 12 days or so of the year. You know, this is the time of year I always try to pause and tell you about all the great things that have happened in the past year, talk a little bit about where we're headed in the future, and ask you to help us finish strong. And as I was thinking through all of that, I realized that what I need to do more than any of that heading into the end of this year is to say I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry for not saying thank you to you nearly enough in the past. And I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on saying it much more in the future. Just yesterday, I was having lunch with Mark Mayfield. He's a local counselor here in the Springs who founded and leads Mayfield Counseling Center, which is a not-for-profit counseling center committed to getting counseling help to as many people as possible right here in our city. They've been instrumental in helping with the Teen Suicide Challenge here in the Springs over the past several years. In 2018 alone, they provided over $250,000 of free counseling to help people in need in our city. And here's the part you may not know. You were a part of that. This year, they became one of our mission partners here at DCC. We are a part of that $250,000 number, a part of providing rescue through great counseling to people who desperately need it but can't afford it. So I just want to say thank you for that. A part of every dollar you give to this place goes to help with that. I heard the story of a 10-year-old little girl who on her birthday was visiting our partner Crossfire. As she slid a free dark chocolate cake across the checkout counter, she told the volunteer that her favorite cake was chocolate, but that she hadn't been able to have a birthday cake for 2 years. Because of you, not only did that 10-year-old little girl have a birthday cake, a single mom was able to get clothing for her children. A family living in a motorhome was able to get a bunch of warm sleeping bags. A grandma raising her grandchildren was able to get toothbrushes for all of her grandkids too. There are thousands of other incredible stories just like that. 250 to 350 people per day walk the tightly packed aisles of Crossfire getting the help they need for free. And you're a part of that. A part of every dollar you give to DCC goes to help with that. So thank you for that. You're making a huge difference. The best part is this. That's just a part of the difference you're making. There's more. Through our partner Ransomed Heart, you brought the message of hope, help, and rescue to men in Wales and Australia this year. And we brought rescue to thousands of people in Uganda through our partner Musana, rescue to people in Kazakhstan and all over that part of the world through our partner YWAM, and rescue for human trafficking victims in India, Southeast Asia, and Central America through our partner Exodus Road. Thank you doesn't seem to quite capture it. By year end, our generosity factor should be approaching $400,000. That's about 18% of our budget, and just for perspective, that's just shy of our total giving for calendar years 2008, 2009, and 2010 combined at DCC. So thanks for who you are and all you do. God is doing amazing things through you. So that's a little bit of what's happened outside the walls of this place in 2018. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening inside the walls, starting with this: water. At the end of last year, we took in thousands of gallons of water because of a defective roof installation. And it caused us to shut down our kids area for several weeks at the end of 2017 and has taken a huge financial toll on us over the course of 2018. The good news is that we have a fantastic watertight roof now in the building. The bad news is that we really are feeling the sting of the additional $200,000 we've paid out of pocket over the last 16 months for repair, restoration, and litigation expenses. We have a mediation date set for February and are praying that we will be able to be made whole. Please be praying with us about that. So the great news is that fantastic things are happening inside the walls of this place. Our staff is as healthy as it's ever been, and it has been a great year for us, a foundation building for things to come. We were even able to add health insurance benefit assistance for our staff this year. Group life is at an all-time high as people are really embracing that life change really happens more effectively in a small circle rather than a long row. And leaders are stepping up and leading new groups everywhere. Just yesterday, I saw that an individual leader had stepped up and will be leading an off-site group that will be studying Kill the Spider starting very soon. More and more people are stepping up and in and leading the mission forward. And not only is group life or community at an all-time high, baptisms and overall generosity are too. At the end of the year last year, I shared a dream that over 200 people or families would be on mission with us financially in 2018. The weekly average year to date is 235. That's up 37% over last year, resulting in an overall increase in giving of 21% this year. Per person giving was up 23% from 2017. And while I do really appreciate every backpack and bag of candy and turkey and Christmas gift, it's a great first step into making generosity a way of life, I'm especially grateful for those of you who are willing to be on mission financially with us. We know it requires trust and sacrifice. We also know that God is all over it. I talked with a sweet lady in the lobby this past week that was thanking me for the difference that DCC has made in her life and in her marriage. And she told me how she and her husband decided to trust God and be sacrificial, regular, committed givers, regardless of whether it seemed to make financial sense or not. And as they struggled to figure out how they were going to do Christmas this year, a monthly bill that usually comes in at about $500 came in last month at $3.24. And she was blown away by how God keeps His promises. That continuing, regular, recurring financial sacrifice and commitment of about 235 families on any given week is making a huge difference in this place. In fact, we could not have survived the challenges of 2018 without you. You are also instrumental in helping us build a culture of generosity in this place like never before. And if that is you, thank you for who you are and all that you do. It's not about being the biggest church in Colorado Springs. It's about being the most generous. It's about making the biggest difference. And because of you, we are closer to that than we've ever been before. Our dream is there will be an average of 300 plus families on mission with us financially any given week of 2019. We have lots of other big dreams for 2019 too. We'll be kicking off the year with a series starting January 5th and 6th called Epic, and spending the first 4 weeks of the year talking about how we can really make 2019 an epic year for each of us individually and for us as a church too. It's a new season at DCC, and we will be unpacking some of that during that series. We have big dreams for all of our teams here in 2019, but especially for DCC Kids. We have new leadership in place, and we'll be launching a new curriculum in January that is much more in line with the story DNA of DCC and includes many more resources for parents and families too. We have some of the best kids space in our city. We have a dynamic rock star team, and we're committed to having the best kids ministry in our city too. So that's just a small taste of what's ahead. There's more. We're pumped about what God is going to do in 2019. And last but not least, will you help us financially heading into 2019? Every year, we close the weekend after Christmas because it's one of the worst attended weekends of the year, and it's a great opportunity to give our staff and all of our dedicated, hardworking volunteers a chance to rest and replenish before we crank up the new year. And because of that, this coming weekend will be our last weekend services between now and year end. Not only that, but we intentionally do not mention giving at all on Christmas weekend because we want all the friends and family that you invite to be here to really believe that our Christmas service is something that is entirely for them and to leave here convinced that there is absolutely nothing that we want or expect from them. What that means is we only have about 12 or so days left this year to finish strong financially. In 2016, year-end giving was $43,000, and last year it grew to $63,000. We really need for the last 2 weekends of this year to be 2 of the strongest giving weekends of the year for us, even though we're not going to mention giving on one of them and not even having church on the other. So we're praying that over $175,000 will come in over the next 2 weeks. December has historically been one of the worst giving months of the year for us. I'm trusting that this year God's up to something different. So would you pray as a family about what God would have you do financially? And then just do whatever God leads you to do over the next 2 weeks. And last, I want to say thank you. Thank you for trusting me and loving me and my family and giving me the privilege of being part of leading such an incredible kingdom movement. Let's keep living to rescue. Let's keep leading the change in this great city of ours and changing what people think when they hear the word Christian, the word church. One heart, one person, one family at a time. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from our elders, our staff team, and my family to yours. I can't wait to see what God has for us next year.